I think there's a really good chance that Sarah Palin could be president, and I think that's a really scary thing, because I don't know anything about her. I don't think in 8 weeks I'm going to know anything about her. I know that she was a mayor of a really small town, and she's governor of Alaska for less than 2 years. I just don't understand. I think the pick was made for political purposes, but in terms of governance, it's a disaster.
What other Supreme Court decisions do you disagree with?
Well, let's see. There's, of course, in the great history of America, there have been rulings that there's never going to be absolute consensus by every American, and there are those issues, again, like Roe v. Wade, where I believe are best held on a state level and addressed there. So, you know, going through the history of America, there would be others, but
can you think of any?
Well, I would think of any, again, that could best be dealt with on a more local level. Maybe I would take issue with, but you know, as a mayor and then as a governor and even as a vice president, if I'm so privileged to serve, wouldn't be in a position of changing those things, but in supporting the law of the land as it reads today.
You do the actuary tables, you know, there's a 1 out of 3 chance, if not more, that McCain doesn't survive his first term, and it'll be President Palin.
As for that VP talk all the time, I tell you, I still can't answer that question until somebody answers for me. What is it exactly that the VP does every day?
And when it comes to establishing your worldview, I was curious, what newspapers and magazines did you regularly read before you were tapped for this to stay informed and to understand the world?
I've read most of them, again, with a great appreciation for the press, for the media.
Like what ones specifically, I'm curious, that you...
all of them, any of them that have been in front of me over all these years. I have a vast variety of sources where we get our news.
It really, you know, we was talking about it earlier. It's like a really bad Disney movie. You know, the hockey mom. You know, oh, I'm just a hockey mom from Alaska, and she's the president, and it's like she's facing down Vladimir Putin, and you know, using the, you know, the folksy stuff she learned at the hockey, you know, rink. You know, it's absurd.
You've cited Alaska's proximity to Russia as part of your foreign policy experience. What did you mean by that?
I don't know, you know.
Well, explain to me why that enhances your foreign policy credentials.
Well, it certainly does, because our next door neighbors are foreign countries. They're in the state that I am the executive of. And
have you ever been involved with any negotiations, for example, with the Russians?
We have trade missions back and forth. We do. It's very important when you consider even national security issues with Russia, as Putin rears his head and comes into the airspace of the United States of America. Where do they go? It's Alaska. It's just right over the border.
This is the island, a piece of Alaska that Governor Sarah Palin cites as evidence of her foreign policy experience. No streets, no cars, no airstrip. A helicopter is the only practical way to get here. Nome is the nearest city on the mainland. Anchorage, 550 miles away.
You have said continually, since he chose you as his vice presidential nominee, that I said to Congress, thanks, but no thanks. If we're going to build that bridge, we'll build it ourselves.
Right.
But it's now pretty clearly documented. You supported that bridge before you opposed it. You were wearing a T-shirt in the 2006 campaign, showed your support for the bridge to nowhere.
I was wearing a T-shirt with the zip code of the community that was asking for that bridge, and not all the people in that community even were asking for a $400 or $300 million bridge.
But you turned against it after Congress had basically pulled the plug on it, after it became apparent that the state was going to have to pay for it, not the Congress, and after it became a national embarrassment to the state of Alaska. So do you want to revise and extend your remarks?
It has always been an embarrassment.
I need to know if she really thinks dinosaurs were here 4,000 years ago. That's an important, I want to know that. I really do, because she's going to have the nuclear codes. You know, I want to know if she thinks dinosaurs were here 4,000 years ago, or if she banned books or tried to ban books. I mean, you know, we can't have that.
Pray for our military men and women who are striving to do what is right also for this country, that our leaders, our national leaders, are sending them out on a task that is from God. That's what we have to make sure that we're praying for, that there is a plan and that that plan is God's plan.